again, we're going to be talking about rearranging numbers, putting them in a slightly different order, messing with our numbers. Put that in their proper order. Thank you. In order to make it an easier problem to solve. At the top of your board, I want you to write 9 plus 7. Now, both on your board, please. Both of these numbers are pretty small, which means you could use counting on. But I want you to see if you can rearrange these numbers to make it an easier problem. I'm going to give you some seconds, see if you can think about that. All right, does anyone have an idea on how I could rearrange this problem to make it easier to solve? Lincoln, what do you think? I don't have a 16 here, though. It is the answer, but that didn't make it any easier for me to solve. You just gave me another way to show my answer. I want a way that's easier to solve. Elena? Okay, so I could rearrange it. Maybe it's easier for your brain to say 7 plus 9. We know what that special math rule is. That is called our commutative property. We've talked a lot about that in multiplication. John, do you have another way that we can make this problem easier?
Yeah, you can do 9 dots.
Okay. That is still just counting 9 plus 7. That doesn't make my problem any easier. Shelby? Whoa! Did you hear that? No. Alright, so I'm going to repeat, Shelby, make sure I'm doing this right. So Shelby said, I know that inside that 7 I have lots of options. And she broke apart that 7 into 2 smaller numbers. She broke it into a 1 and a 6, because 6 plus 1 equals 7. And then she said, you know what I'm going to do with that 1? I'm going to throw it over to that 9, because 9 is kind of hard to add with, but it's so much easier to work with when it's a nice, pretty, happy 10. So she threw that 1 and combined it with her 9 to make it a 10, plus her leftover, which was 6. This is called a make a 10 strategy. Have you ever seen this before? Raise your hand if you've seen the make a 10 strategy. So the reason why we have make a 10 as a strategy is because your brain is really good at adding starting at 10. 10 plus 6 is way easier for you to solve really fast than 9 plus 7. Let's try to make a 10 strategy on your own. This time I want you to try, how about 9 plus 12. Write that problem on your board, and then I want you to try that make a 10 strategy that Shelby just shared with us, and see if you can solve 9 plus 12 using make a 10. Bladen, you want to help me out?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So, I knew there was 12. I knew there was 9 and 12. So I minus 1 from 12, and I still had 1 with no buddy. So I added it into the 9 because they all had a buddy. And then it was 21.
How many did you have left over when you subtracted 1 from 12? And you got 21? Give me a me too signal if you did it a very similar way. Awesome.
I did the same one.
Awesome. Alright, erase your board. We're going to try a new problem, a little bit harder. I want you to think about that same strategy, but I'm going to do some larger numbers now. Ooh, 9 plus 27. Go ahead and write it down, please. 9 plus 27. And then I want you to try to think about that make a 10 strategy when you're solving it. Alright, so what I saw a lot of you do, most of you said, okay, 9 is really close to 10. I'm going to pull out that 1 to make it that nice pretty 10 that I like. And then I have 26 left over. 10 plus 26 equals 36. Give me 2 if that is what you did. That was a lot of you. Now, Braden did something very interesting. And I'm going to share what he did. Braden, pay close attention to make sure I'm explaining it correctly, okay? So we still started with 9 plus 27. But this time, Braden said, you know what? Instead of making that 9 a 10, I'm going to make that 27 into a multiple of 10. So when I think about skip counting by 10, the next closest skip count is 30. Is 30 just as easy to add as 10? I think so. So he said, okay, I'm going to turn this 27 into a 30, which means I need to break apart some things from my 9. Brandon, what did you break apart from the 9 to get that 27 to 30? All right, so Braden said, I know that I need 6 and 3 because I could smush together the 3 and the 27 to get 30. There's my leftover to get 6. 36. Isn't that cool? Love that. Love that. We're going to be using a version of this strategy today to help us with our multiplication strategy. Our 10, please stop eating, is very easy for us. You guys were masters when we skip counted by 10. You're masters when we add with 10. But our 9s are a little trickier. It's trickier to skip count by 9. It's trickier to multiply by 9. It's trickier to add with 9. So we're going to use this same strategy of figuring out how can we multiply by 9 by using some knowledge of our 10s. Go ahead and erase your board. Put away your marker. Put away your whiteboard. Go ahead and get out your math notebook, please. You could use a fast array. What would a fast array look like? We learned that strategy last week. What would a fast array look like? I should see lots of hands. And if you don't know, you should be looking back in your notebook like Bella's doing right now. What does a fast array look like, Ashlyn? Okay, can you help me make a fast array for 9 times 7? You can, because you just showed me what they look like. How would I make it? While you look in your notebook. How do I make a fast array for 9 times 7? Ashlyn's right, I can. How do I do it? Show me. And how many on the side? 7 on top and 7 on the side?
9 on the top and 7.
Oh, 9 on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, if I'm writing, you're writing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put your notebook open, please. Yeah, a fast array will totally work. Are there any other strategies I know? How would I solve this? 9 times 7. What? Yeah. I'm not going to draw one since we've got a fast array, but sure, we could count all those dots. Does anyone have another idea, Will?
A dealing out strategy?
What would you deal out? Layden?
Dealing out
What would I deal out?
the dots.
What dots? I have 9 times 7. What would I deal out? Is that what 9 groups of 7 means? I have 7 and I deal them to 9 groups. If you are not looking up here, you are paying attention to the wrong thing. Am I going to be dealing out for this problem?
Yes.
No, I am not. There's nothing here for me to deal out. This says 9 groups of 7. It doesn't tell me how many things I have. It tells me how many groups I have. There's nothing for me to deal out. Lincoln, what could I do? Okay, I can skip count by 9 or by 7. What if I'm not good at those, though? Skip count by what? Okay, sure. Tell me. Doesn't quite work that way because remember these are groups. Right? 7, what could I do? How many circles would I make? 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, I got my 9 circles. Now what? And then I'll put 7 dots for the number 7 inside each one. Sure. No? Okay, well then you owe me walking minutes because that's part of your morning work. Go. When you solve this as an equation, you might write 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, if I'm writing, you're writing. And then I've seen a lot of you start doing your triangles. Please stop eating. That would give you your totals. So you might say 7 plus 7 is 14, and then this 7 plus 7 is 14, and then this 7 plus 7 is 14. Have you guys done that before? Yeah. All of these are great strategies. And they will solve this problem, but that's going to be a lot of counting and a lot of work. A lot of you are trying to figure out a way I can use my 10 somehow because I'm starting with 9. So we're going to explore how can we use our 10s today. Sean, whatever you're messing with, put it up. Now remember with multiplication, I'm counting in groups. I'm not just counting by ones. I'm counting whole groups. And our 10s, when I skip count by 10, that's super easy. So I want to figure out how do I get from 9 groups to 10 groups? How do I get from 9 groups to 10 groups? It's not a trick question. How do I get from 9 groups to 10 groups? Elena? Yes. Write what I am writing. If I have 9 groups, I can add 1 more group. That's the really important part, 1 more group to get to 10 groups. If I have 9 groups of something, all I need to do is add 1 more group of that something, and now I'm at 10 groups of that something. Yes, Gwen? So, we're going to use that trick, Gwen, to then help us answer our 9. It's going to help you answer it, yep. Does that make sense what I'm asking? What you just made was 10 groups of 3. So far, so good? You made 10 groups of 3. Yeah? You don't need to write it. I'm just confirming that's what you did. you to use what you made to figure out 9 groups of 3. So how do you change your array to now show 9 groups of 3? What do you do?
Take one.
What do you do? When I already saw you moving stuff, what do you do?
You take away the bottom part.
Yeah, I'm going to take away a whole group. Does that mean I take away 1 counter? No. How many counters is 1 group, Bella? I'm going to take away 3. So take off that last 3 or top 3 or whatever you want to do and move them. Goodbye. Alright, so now I have 9 groups of 3. In math language, this is what you just did. Look up here, please. I had 10 groups of 3. And then I took away, aka subtracted, 1 group of 3. How many groups of 3 do I have now? How many groups of 3 do I have now, Lincoln? I have 9 groups of 3. Now, let's put this into actual numbers. What is 10 groups of 3 worth?
30.
What is 10 groups of 3 worth? What is that worth? What is that value? What is that answer? 7? 30. And then I subtracted 1 group of 3. Bella, how much was 1 group of 3? 3. And now how many do I have? How many do I have? Michael? 27. Did you have to recount? Whoa! Whoa. Alright, let's try another one. Do you think? Good question. Alright, I see a lot of fast arrays now. We're going to use this to solve the problem 9 times 8. Does anyone know 9 times 8, like off the top of your head? Do you know what 9 times 8 is? What is it? I did. I know, that's so big. So maybe a couple of you have that memorized. That's awesome.
I said 9.
I know, it's tricky. But what about 10 times 8? You think you know 10 times 8? Who knows 10 times 8? Those are some easier skip counts. You might know that one pretty quick. 10 times 8. 7? 80. 10 times 8 is 80. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Whoa, so much easier. So much easier. Alright, so we know that 10 times 8 is 80. What do I need to do to get to 9 times 8? If I have 10 groups of 8, well, Bella, please stop messing facts. If I have 10 groups of 8, how do I get that down to 9 groups of 8? When? Yeah, I'm going to subtract 1 group, and my groups this time are 8. Now wait, that doesn't look like 8. That looks like 1. Why does that not look like 8? It just looks like 1. Ashlyn? It's a... Yes, ma'am. It is a fast array. Those dots are there. You just have to imagine them. They're not actually there, so I'll have 80 counters to give you. So what Gwen said was exactly right. We're going to take 10 groups of 8. We're going to subtract 1 group of 8 to get 9 groups of 8. 10 groups of 8, you've already told me was 80. Bladen, how much is 1 group of 8 worth? It's 8. What is 9 groups of 8 going to be? What is 9 groups of 8 going to be? Use that equation to help you. We started at 80 with 10 groups of 8. Then we subtracted 1 group. Now we're at 9 groups of 8. Start at 80, count backwards. Bladen is the only one that knows.
I think I
What is 9 groups of 8? You can use this equation right here to help me.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, Bladen.
72.
72. You just figured out 9 times 8.
Because it's the 8 minus.
And did you have to add up a whole bunch of 8s to do that?
Oh.
Did you have to count every single dot to do that?
No.
No. We are working smarter, not harder. Can you count every single dot in an array?
Yes, but it'll take a while.
It will take a while. It's still okay. It'll still work. You just have more opportunities to mess up. You know when you count by ones for really big numbers?
Yeah, and like you
Sometimes you
count
get-
sometimes.
Sometimes we mess up. So this way, we don't have to worry about that.
Sometimes I go like this. If I have like a bunch, I'm counting up.
So we're trying to figure out 9 times 6. But in order to do that, we're going to figure out 10 times 6. Can someone tell me, if we're trying to figure out 9 times 6, why did we make 10 groups of 6? Why did we do that? I thought we were trying to figure out 9 groups of 6. Sit up. Sit up. Sit up. If we're trying to figure out 9 groups of 6, why on earth are we making 10 groups of 6? Michael?
Because it's easier if we can just count until 60, and we did it last time where if you use this, then you can just solve it with minus.
Yeah, I love that. Michael said because 10s are easier to skip counting. And our 10s are only one group more than our 9s. Then we just subtract the group.
Yeah.
What was 10 groups of 6 equal to? What was 10 groups of 6 equal to, Victor? 60, very good. But that's not what I want to solve. I eventually want to solve 9 times 6. So how do I get there? So that Jackson, I had 10 groups of 6, but I want to get to 9 groups of 6. Henley, what am I going to do to get from 10 groups of 6 down to 9 groups? I have to do what? I have to do what? I can't hear Henley. Yes. Harper, help her out. What did I do? I had 10 groups of 6, but I want to get to 9 groups of 6. What am I going to do? So if I'm at 10 groups of 6, I need to add more to get to 9 groups of 6? Subtract what? Just one counter? You're close. It's not just one counter though. You're very, very close. Sean? I need to subtract one group, ladies. Harper, Finley, one whole group needs to go away. So minus one group of 6. What is one group of 6 equal to? What is one group of 6 equal to? Jacob, do you know one group of 6? Yes, you do. 1 times 6. I told you.
Is that thunder?
If that was 10 groups of 6, and I minus one group of 6, I'll end up with 9 groups of 6. What is that going to actually be worth? What is that going to be worth? Lincoln? No. We started at 60 with 10 groups of 6, but then I had to subtract one group of 6, so now where am I? Now where am I? Bigger? So, yeah, this equation matches this. This equation matches this. And then this will match our answer. Yeah. If you know it, yeah. 61. Try counting backwards.
8 times 6. That's right.
60 minus 6.
Oh, is that counting backwards?
That is counting backwards.
So that would be 50. 50?
Not 50, no. You're close. Shelby?
54.
54. 54. Go ahead and put your counters up.